How does Thor, the god of thunder, go from this amazing hammer-wielding badass to, well, this?
Boys! Oh my god! Oh my god, it's so good to see you! Give me a cuddly little rascal!
Yeah, no, I'm good. It's not necessary.
How did Thor become a fat beer-drinking gamer?
Noob Master, hey, it's Thor again. You know, the god of thunder? Listen, buddy, if you don't log off this game immediately, I'm gonna fly over to your house, come down to that basement you're hiding in, rip off your arms, and shove them up your butt! Oh, that's right. Yes, go cry to your father, you little weasel.
I want to take you all through the mental health journey of Thor, the god of thunder. I've heard a lot of kickback recently about how depression isn't real.
Depression's not real.
But if Thor can go from the god of thunder to depressed, then I think we can all agree that depression is real. My haters will not like that joke. But let's rewind so we can figure out how Thor got to this point and how he pulls himself out. What's the source of Thor becoming fat and depressed? There's a good scene in Avengers Infinity War where Rocket, a talking raccoon, starts talking to Thor about his personal life.
So dead brother, huh? Yeah, it could be annoying.
Well, he's been dead before. You know, this time I think it really might be true.
And you said your sister and your dad,
Both dead.
but still got a mom, though?
Killed by a dark elf.
A best friend?
Stabbed through the heart.
So to recap, Thor has lost his brother, Loki, his dad, Odin, his mom, Frigga, his best friend, Heimdall, and his sister, Hela. Not only that, but his sister is the one who is responsible for slashing his eye out, and he ends up killing her later on. Dealing with this amount of trauma will have anybody going into a state of depression. In fact, most people don't even come close to dealing with this much trauma in their lifetime, and they still find themselves depressed. That's because you don't have to have some big traumatic experience to go into a state of depression. I give props to Thor though. Even though Thor has experienced so much trauma, he's still ready to go on the mission to keep the magical stones out of the hands of Thanos, who just killed his brother and best friend like 15 minutes ago.
You sure you're up to this particular motor mission?
Thor's response here is one that is all too familiar, especially for men.
Absolutely. No rage and vengeance, anger, loss, regret, they're all tremendous motivators. They really clear the mind, so I'm good to go.
You hear and see the hesitation in his voice. You can tell that he is still hurting, but I think he feels like he can't express himself because, you know, he's the God of Thunder. Very similar to how us men act a lot of times because we don't want to be viewed as weak. Rocket starts then asking him if he thinks he's ready to go up against Thanos. And Thor's like, no problem, man, about to whoop him. And then Rocket's like, well, what if you don't? And Thor replies with a pretty dangerous type of thinking.
What more could I lose?
I say this is dangerous because he's putting himself and his purpose all into something that he doesn't have control over. Long story short, the bad guy, Thanos, gets the last stone that he needs, and it looks like it's over for the Avengers. But then you see Thor come out of nowhere and throw his axe, and it sticks right into Thanos' chest, and you're like, heck yeah! Until Thanos snaps his fingers and destroys half the population. That's basically how the movie ends, with the good guys losing. Bummer. But let's continue on with Thor's journey into the next movie, because this is where you really start to see the aftermath of everything that Thor has gone through, as well as the guilt that he feels for losing half the population. So, quick summary of the beginning of this video. They find Thanos and discover that he has destroyed all the stones, so they can't reverse what he has done. Thor's anger takes control and he chops off Thanos' head. And nobody sees Thor for a while. Fast forward a little bit, some of the Avengers find a way to time travel and basically come up with this plan to go back in time, keep Thanos from getting all the stones and destroying half the population. But they need Thor. This is where Hulk and Rocket, the talking raccoon, set out to find and recruit Thor to come help them with this mission. And they find him in a less than desirable state.
We need your help. There might be a chance we could fix everything.
Well, like the cable? Because that's been driving me bananas for weeks.
Like Thanos.
Thor is obviously still very bothered by everything that has happened. That's why you see him as this kind of fat slob who is drinking beer and the pain away. But mentioning Thanos really triggers Thor.
You say that.
He's obviously ignoring his problems and using alcohol as a coping mechanism, so that pent-up anger he's had, he kind of shoved down deep, comes up when he hears the name Thanos. This is exactly why you need to acknowledge your feelings and sit with them. A lot of times we try to get rid of them as soon as possible or use things like drugs or alcohol to cope with it, instead of sitting with it and processing it and then moving forward. Hulk and Rocket are still trying to convince Thor to come on the ship and go on this mission, but it's obvious that Thor is still feeling a tremendous amount of guilt. But eventually they convince him to come.
There's beer on the ship.
Fast forward again, everybody time travels to go get the stones, and Thor meets his mom before she dies. He opens up to her, and she supports him greatly.
Idiot.
You're no idiot. You're here, aren't you? Seeking counsel from the wisest person in Asgard. Idiot, a failure.
It's a little bit harsh.
And you know what that makes you. It's like everyone else.
I'm not supposed to be like everyone else, am I?
Everyone fails at who they're supposed to be. The measure of a person, of a hero, is how well they succeed at being who they are.
You don't have the luxury of visiting and talking to your dead relatives, but you do have the ability to open up with people that you trust about how you are feeling. Those words of support that you may receive, or just having someone listening to you, can be exactly what you need to take back control of your life and get yourself out of that state of depression that you're feeling. It's up to you to get yourself back up ultimately, but that doesn't mean that you can't get help to get you to that point. And Thor talking to his mom is exactly what he needed. Now, this isn't a Avengers/Thor movie recap video by any means, but I figured I'll just quickly summarize the rest of this movie. After talking with his mom, Thor kind of gets it back together, and Thor and the rest of the Avengers kill Thanos and bring back everybody that Thanos killed in the first movie. The whole point of this video is really just to show you it is okay to be in a state of depression, no matter what or why that may be, but you can get out of it. Talk to somebody you love or get a professional involved and start getting your life back together. Depression is temporary. Don't you dare let yourself think that it is a permanent fixture in your life. No matter what you are going through or how hard life is for you right now, this too shall pass. Thank you all for watching this video. Please let me know if you enjoyed this one, specifically because this is something kind of different where I'm, kind of following the journey of a fictional character, but it was really fun to make. So please let me know if you enjoyed this, and if you did, like what other movies or characters you'd like me to, do a similar video on. Yeah, that's about it. Until next week. Peace.